Hello everybody and welcome to my review for Resident Evil 7 on PS4. You may have already watched my gameplay video of it featuring me getting the shit scared out of myself.
No, let's find out what's on the videotape.
If you have, thank you all for watching and please stay tuned as I am about to talk some interesting facts about Resident Evil lore and what this new game could have in store for us.
She's back.
So starting right off the bat with what he says there, the voice on the radio, and it's unknown who that could be. That could be another Wesker family. We obviously now know that there's multiple between his son, between clones. There could be many Weskers out there, so could be any number of that. But if we think about it here, he says she's back. Now, there are a couple different things that I could mention. If we go directly into the actual Resident Evil timeline, Resident Evil 1 through 6, we would think that would mean Ada Wong, which is one of the most, prominent female protagonists throughout the Resident Evil series, possible villain as well. The fact that they say she's back, to me, just shouts out Ada Wong. I'm not sure why exactly. I'll show you kind of more as to why I think that. One of the biggest ones, obviously, is in the actual game. There's a phone call you can pick up that actually gives you a conversation with Ada Wong, at least assumably Ada Wong. Again, this could be anyone, but going with Resident Evil lore, this seems like the most prominent thing. Ada has a lot of different mysteries that she's left off over the series of games, so it's not unlikely that she would be used in this new series or new game, whatever you might call it, that they're kind of reinventing of Resident Evil. There are a few different things, though, that I really want to touch on in this video that I feel like haven't been mentioned yet. And we'll get more into Ada Wong and her past and why she connects with that song that they've chosen. So, first of all, I have a real high feeling of past and present. Now, that's obviously a thing with the ability to go back and forth between the videotapes, but I feel like that might have more to do with the main game than a lot of people are thinking. And I could be wrong here, again, I'm just kind of shooting for stars here, but when, specifically, like in this trailer, because obviously in the game you have the videotape, and there are a few different sequences where things do change, and, scraps that were on the table are now gone, and food that was eaten isn't eaten, and yada yada. But it's really not touched on too much, other than it's kind of in the puzzle, so that's why I'm kind of thinking this is going to be a puzzle mechanic. But one of the things that really gets to me with this trailer especially is all these shots between the different time zones. Now, more to kind of bring up on my theory here is they got these shots where it's really going through time lapses and you're seeing things happen. And specifically here, like, people were saying this could be a virus that's, going all rampant and whatever. I think this is actually growth going throughout the woods that we see. And the one that really catches me, that just drives me to the end, is this dog. Seeing this clearly time lapse, right, of from the day that you see that video to the day that you're actually in the house, you can clearly see that the dog has died, decayed, and become nothing but like rubble. It's mush by that point. So there's a time lapse there between the two, and I think they're really touching upon that for a reason. They're not just, oh, here's a creepy demented dog because it's cool. Granted, it is cool, it's a great sell point, but I think there's more to it than that. And I think that this time-lapse thing, this past-present kind of videotape mana that's happening here, I feel like that definitely has something to do with the puzzles of Resident Evil that we know have already been a key thing about Resident Evil. And they're clearly going back away from combat, which brings me to my next statement, which is combat. I don't have much to support it other than the axe that you can find in the game, but there's going to be combat. It seems like that's going to be a thing. I don't think they're going to completely stray away from it, but I think they're going to go back to a more basic, where you actually have melee weapons to use and you actually have to be resourceful with your ammunition. So I feel like the combat's definitely going to be there, but this time-lapse thing and this videotape thing is going to really play into the into what this game is going to be as far as a puzzle horror possibly shoot her, whatever it may take place in. So touching more on the family's backstory, there's a few things that I want to kind of talk about. First, let's point out the obvious ones that some people are still kind of skeptical on, which is the picture that you see in the very beginning of the game with the old man and the woman there. I wasn't sure at first. I am almost 100% sure that that man is the man that punches you out. He is the guy walking around the house, and he is changed. I don't even know if changed would be the right word. I think demented is the right word. You know, something's happened to him, which brings me to his wife, who I believe is the woman that attacks you at the very end of the gameplay.
Oh my god. Oh shit! What the fuck? Oh my god.
I feel like the height, you know, is correct. And I want to point out that I don't think the girl that you see as the ghost apparition, I don't think that's the same girl. I think that this girl that attacks you at the very end with the zombie-like traits, I think that is a zombie. I am almost willing to stake money that that is a zombie. And what I want to say that, why I believe that is because, and this is reaching out, but of a movie called, let me go, Shaun of the Dead. Now hold on. At the end of that movie, you see a scene where Shaun has his friend who's turned into a zombie, and he wants to keep him with him. Now, I know there are a few other movies that have done this that are more, you know, to the point that I'm trying to get to here, but that's the first one I thought of, right? Is Shaun keeping his zombie friend because he cares about it. He loves him. That's his friend. That's his best friend in the world. And I think that that might have happened to this man's wife. And you see that in a certain sequence. Later on, you go upstairs and you can find a photo that has an umbrella helicopter and the sign, you know, are they watching us? Now, some people say that that could be the son, but here's the thing. I don't think the son is actually in the family. So I don't think he was actually any real trouble. I think he was just, you know, he was raised in that family, and whatever happened may have happened with him there, but there was obviously some dispute, and I think he left. And that obviously leads into the fact that this might be the same person we're seeing in the game when you see the man, you know, knocking you out and saying, welcome back to the family, son, or welcome to the family, son. That he might be talking to his actual son, maybe stepson, we don't know. Because again, there are no pictures of any children. The only actual picture of the family is that two that we see. Every other picture is kind of weird and wonky. So the assumption is that he left. At least I'm thinking. I don't think he was there when anything went down. Now, what went down, I believe, is that these helicopters, the umbrella ones, they maybe dropped something. Maybe it was just surveying a scene that did happen nearby. But I think that something happened with that helicopter, with Umbrella, and the wife, you know, the mother got infected. And I think that the old man wanted to keep her, you know, wanted to save her. But he couldn't, you know, she was turning. He figured probably maybe it was just a bite, maybe she just got sick. He figured he could fix her, he figured whatever. And things went bad, and he ended up having to lock her in the cellar or whatever he did. But needless to say, I think that this drove him nuts. I think this made him go crazy. And in that aspect, maybe he was looking for his son the whole time, and people coming by and messing with his house and shooting these movies, you know, was only just making it worse. And, you know, that was the thing, is that in the video, they don't find the man, right? They run directly into the woman, I think, first. Or at least they're led to be with her anyway. But they go down to the cellar where I think she is, and so I think they might have found her, and that's why the man kills them. And then when the son comes by, you know, he's killed these people, he's crazy, he needs an alibi, he needs help. So that's where I think that, where they might be leading us as far as what the story is going to be between this family and what happened. I don't even think, to be honest, that it's going to lead into the actual game. I think that that's the reason that they gave us this much information right out the bat, because it's, you know, if I'm right, then that's all the information they've given us. And that's pretty much, you know, that's a solid story right there. That's a whole Resident Evil 1 game. So I can understand if they use that as the teaser, and then we're going to lead into another story, which is the connection of Ada Wong. So one of the first ones to connect her, obviously, is the voice that you hear on the phone. It does sound very similar, whether it's the same voice actress even, if they are using an Ada Wong as that, as the person that's calling you, I don't know. But it does sound a lot like Ada Wong. Now, there are a few different possibilities, however. If we really want to say, go out on a limb, this could even be from Resident Evil Revelations 2, and you could be looking at the girl from the very end of the game who ends up leaving and becoming, the evil Wesker that you thought she wasn't. Natalia, that's her name. Natalia. So I think, Natalia could possibly be the older, since Resident Evil Revelations 2 came, I believe, before Resident Evil 4, maybe even. It was definitely before Resident Evil 6. So, I mean, Natalia would be a fair amount older. But, it's an interesting thought, nonetheless, that it could be Natalia or any of the female protagonists throughout Resident Evil. But one of the things that really leads me to believe that it is Ada Wong, or even better here, now bear with me, this is what's leading into the song, is it might actually be her sister, Carla Radarns. Radarns? Radams? I think it's Radams. Yeah, it's Carla Radams. But anyway, in Resident Evil 6, you see Ada Wong's story take place, and she runs into this clone. We'll call her, the sister. And, the clone ends up, being Carla Radams, and tries to kill Ada, and Ada ends up killing her and runs off and blows up the whole thing. That's presumed to be the end of Carla. Now, one of the things that makes me think that this could be Carla talking on the phone, one, Ada's not that evil. Now, the first thing that the chick says on the phone isn't that bad, but there are a few others that lead me to believe that this is a villain and not just some person trying to contact you, as Ada would do, more as what Carla would do if she was messing with you. And again, this could be someone else entirely. Remember, there were multiple clones of Ada Wong in the factory, and there are probably multiple factories, or clone labs, whatever you want to call them. But one of the things that connects it, and if, this could all be, again, completely picked at random, but the song they chose, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Now, Rhody spelled R-H-O-D-Y. Now, this song predates Resident Evil. Like, this is a very old song. They've changed it and revamped it to fit the style, but it's a very old Western song. But what I like about this is if this is, Ada Wong's sister, Carla Radams, or if you were going by short form and maybe didn't want to be known as Carla, you call her Rhody. Now, again, saying that these two aren't just clones, maybe in a family, maybe in a public, they wanted to be known as sisters. Well, then that would make her, surprise said they have a child or another clone, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That would make her Aunt Rhody. Go tell Aunt Rhody. So again, there's a little, it's a little connection. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying it's a little connection, and I really feel it's standing out more than I think people are letting on to believe, or people are just not seeing it. But there are definitely more connections than just that. Like, there are tons of different things between the girl popping up, the possibility of the time differences, so you'd be able to see, Ada as possibly a younger, girl and grow up into this monster, whatever she could be. I don't know what to say much about the ghost other than, like, as far as in the game, it's clearly meant to be there. There are a few sequences where you see her actually in T-pose. Like, if you see the sequences, you see her in T-pose before she just kind of, does her weird stand there, look at you pose. But there are some weird poses she does, and her hair moves, there are physics on her, so she's rendered in the game. Why, I don't know, and why it's only in the pre-dated scene also makes me kind of wonder, like, maybe maybe they wanted to use her, maybe they're going to use her. I'm not sure, but there's definitely some interesting things going on with that ghost, and there's obviously a lot that Capcom has yet to tell us. So I'm interested to see what's going on. You know, give me your opinions, comment below, subscribe if you want more videos. I'm just kind of doing this at random. I might do another one for another video. Who knows? I just was really interested in this one, and this whole Ada thing and the time-lapse puzzles thing. I feel like it's something that hasn't been touched on yet, so I felt like it needed to be talked about. And yeah, I guess I don't have much more to say about it other than I can't wait to see more of this game. I hope they actually release a full demo eventually of it. I would love to play that. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.
The usual.
How long did you say this place has been abandoned?
3 years.